Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Gita study session. So we are in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is titled Attaining the Supreme Lord. So this chapter is from the Bhakti Yoga section of Bhagavad Gita. In the first 6 chapters, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. And in the first 6 chapters, Krishna spoke about Karma Yoga or art of working. How one should live in this world, how one should work in this world. If a person works with proper mindset, proper consciousness, the actions we do or the karma we do will not produce any new reaction. And one can happily, joyfully work. Anything we do in this world, we are frustrated. Any work we do, we are frustrated, irritated by our work. And if a person works like a karma yogi with proper mindset, one has to work for the pleasure of the Lord as a service to the Lord without expectation of a result, being neutral to success or failure, and not getting attached to the results itself. One can work happily, and the karmas itself will not generate any new karma. So Krishna spoke about that karma yoga in the first 6 chapters, and we have completed that section. And we are in the second section of Bhagavad Gita, second half, middle chapters, where Krishna talks about bhakti, devotion. Bhakti as a means to attain the Supreme Lord. If I need to go to a destination, if I need to go St. Louis Arch, right? I need to know about the St. Louis Arch. What is that? Where it is located? And I also need to know the means, the means to go to that. I need to have a car. If I have a car, I'll drive and go to my destination. And I can go there, I can experience the gateway arch, I can see it, visualize it. Here, Krishna is talking about that example we can apply here to bhakti and attaining the Supreme. For me, to attain the spiritual abode, moksha, to attain the Supreme Lord, I need to know about the Supreme Lord. Who is that God? Krishna spoke about that essential nature of the God. Who is that God? What is his properties, essential nature about the God? In 7th chapter, we completed that. Okay, and in the 8th chapter, Krishna talks about the means, the process we can attain the Supreme Lord. Who is the God? How to attain the God? Who is the God is spoken in 7th chapter. How to attain the God is spoken in 8th chapter. So, to attain the God, there is a process and practices required. The process and practice is bhakti. Bhakti, devotion to the Lord as a means one can attain the Supreme Lord. Okay, so I'll give a quick overview. I know we had a break last session, so I'll give a quick overview. We can, if you have missed previous sessions, we can catch up. So in the 7th chapter, Krishna spoke about himself, everything. And towards the end, he says, Arjuna, if even at the time of death, if you think about me, you meditate on me and leave your body. If you can do that, you can attain me. You don't have to take birth again. And Krishna introduces various terminology: Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, Adibhuta, Adideva, Adiyagna, and Prayana Kala. And Arjuna asks this question, what are those? Krishna answers those. Okay, and we covered that. I'm skipping now. And the entire chapter is based on one theme. The theme is Prayana Kala, the time of departure. What is the way one can leave the body? Prayana Kala, the importance of our last minute remembrance. So Krishna talks about that in 8.5 to 8.8. So Krishna says, Antakale cha mameva smaranmukta kalevaram yaprayatina samadbhavam natiyati atra samshaya asamshaya. So Antakale cha mameva, at the time of death, last minutes before death, just if a person thinks about me, meditates on me, has this remembrance of me, then that person will attain me. Asamshaya, there is no doubt about it, guaranteed that person, even if a person leaves the body, remembering the God, he will attain the God. Krishna talks about that. And Krishna also says the general law. What is the general law? We all know not everybody can meditate on the God at the time of death. People could die in very different ways, thinking about many things. Even when we sleep or get up from the, even just before sleep, when we are just about to sleep, many things will go into our mind. The same thing happened at the time of death also. Many things will go into our mind. But if we have a thought of God, we'll attain God. Conversely, if you have a thought of anything else, if you're thinking about a woman, we'll have a woman body. If you're thinking about our pet dog, we will attain the dog body. So whatever we have in our remembrance, final remembrance, that is the state we attain. So one may have this question, Krishna, you're asking me to meditate you at the time of death. How to do that? What is the way to practice that? Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. You can remember me, Arjuna. It's not so hard. Whatever you do, your duties, do your duty thinking about me. In case of Arjuna is fighting, that's why Krishna used the word yuddha. But in case of us, we have various duties. We do computer work, we do various fields of works. And we take care of children, family members. Krishna is saying, in any activity you do, you think about me and do, before and after or while, if possible. That way we can have a constant remembrance about the Supreme Lord. So whatever we think throughout the life, definitely that is what we think at the end. And Krishna, we also looked at if a surrendered soul, if a devotee who is surrendered to the Supreme Lord, he has an accidental death. He cannot remember the God at the time of death. What will happen? So we looked at that as well. For a Sharanagata, in Varaha Purana, the God himself says, for a Sharanagata, if a person, Sharanagata is surrendered soul, if a person surrenders to the Supreme Lord, even if that person lying like a wood, dead wood on the bed, no movements of the body, totally unconscious about his body, even to that person, God says he will give the remembrance. He will give the remembrance so that he can think about the God and attain the God. And God also says that God will remember. If a devotee doesn't remember, God will remember the devotee because this devotee has meditated on the God throughout the life. Such a beautiful section there. Okay, so Krishna says, you practice remembering me throughout your life. Mayi arpita manobuddhi. Don't use your intellect too much. Just offer it to me. Your mind and intelligence. Don't logically think. Just do what I say. Mayi arpita manobuddhi. Offering your mind and intelligence unto me. That's what Krishna says. That completes the 8.5 to 8.8. And 9 to 16, Krishna talks about 9 ways of remembering the Supreme Lord. Krishna, you're asking me to remember you. How can I remember you? We covered that in previous sessions. One can remember the Lord as Kavim Puranam, Anuvaraniyam. So God is omniscient. God knows the past, present, and future. Hmm? So one can pray to the God, oh my Lord, you are the one who know my past, present, and future. I don't know my future. You know my future. You help me to attain you. Hmm? And God is a supreme controller. God, I think I'm the controller. I'm thinking everything is happening because of me. But you are the supreme controller. I surrender unto you. Help me to understand you, learn you. So and so. The Krishna gives a different set of prayers. Okay. If a person who is so much entangled in material things, not interested in the God or going to the God for any material benefits, if that person thinks about the God in different ways, it is definitely guaranteed. God says that he will have the attraction towards the God. So that is the 9 ways of remembrance. And Krishna also talks about the remembrance for yogis, Ashtanga yogis. Ashtanga yogis are the one who sit and meditate. They are also renunciates. They have to renounce the world and they have to sit and meditate, activate their chakras. There are chakras in the body, bring their life force onto the mid of the eyebrows and also to the top Brahmarandhara, and he has to chant the Om, 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 chanting the Om, one has to leave the body. That is for Ashtanga yogis, not for us, luckily. So there is no one in this age of Kali Yuga, no one is practicing this Ashtanga yoga. Okay, so it is just a Krishna speaking from the scriptures. Krishna has to say this because this is there in our scriptures. If a person want to still practice meditating on the Atma or Paramatma, and for that person, he has to leave the body in a certain way. But what about a devotee? Devotee doesn't do chakra yoga or activate his chakras. Devotee knows only to worship God, meditate on the God. So Krishna says, yes, that path is so easy. If you can remember me with undeviated mind, I'm easy to attain. Tasyaham sulabha parda. Krishna says, I'm easy to attain if you can remember me with an undeviated mind. And for such a person, there is no rebirth. Mamupetiyata kanthaya punarjanmana vidyate. That such a person who meditates on the Lord, thinks about the Lord, and leaves the body. For such a person, there is no rebirth again. He attains the supreme abode. And Krishna also says, A Brahma Bhuvanaloka Punarovartanti Arjuna. From the Lord Brahma, to even to the ant, small ant, in this material world, whoever goes into this material world from the planet of Brahma, everybody has to rotate. Everybody rotates. They take birth again and again, go into the circles of repeated cycles of birth and death. But if a person goes to the spiritual abode, you can see in this picture here, 8.17 to 22. If a person goes to the spiritual abode, for such a person, there is no rebirth. He will not come into this material world. Krishna also says, Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. This material world we are living in, it's just not just the Earth planet, the entire cosmic existence, the one universe we are talking about, not other universes, only one universe. This is Dukhalayam, Krishna says. It is the place of misery. There is a suffering, expect suffering. Okay, if you are suffering, expect suffering. Krishna says it because this place is for suffering. And also temporary. It manifests and unmanifests again and again. If a person is rotating in this, he has to go through these different planets and again come back and go into the cycles of birth and death, never-ending cycles of birth and death. Okay, so Krishna says, so there is a superior to that. There is another world, that is spiritual world, Vaikuntha planets. Krishna says, Tadhama Paramamama. Yam Prapya Nivartante Tadhama Paramamama. That abode is superior and Paramam, so glorious. And if a person goes to that, he will not return again. So what is the qualification to go to the spiritual abode? The qualification is Ananya Bhakti, undeviated love and devotion to the Supreme Lord. That is a qualification. One can go to the spiritual world. Okay, now we are in the final section. So this is what we do, 23 to 28. Here Krishna talks about the soul's journey. After the death, what happens to the soul? How the soul traverses? What is the path soul traverses? Krishna talks about two paths, Archita Adimarga, Dhuma Adimarga, the path of light or the path of darkness. If the soul goes through the path of light, for that soul directly go to the spiritual world. That soul will not take birth again. If the soul goes to the path of darkness, soul goes to the heavenly planet, enjoy the heavenly things, and soul will come back. So we'll look at that in detail now. I'll ask someone to read.
यत्र काले त्व अनावृतिम् आवृतिं चैव योगिनः प्रयात यान्ति तं कालं vakshyami Bharatashaba. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back.
Thank you, Baba. So Krishna talked about the spiritual world. He says, if you do Ananya Bhakti, unallowed devotion unto me, you will attain the spiritual abode and you will not come back. And now Krishna is talking about the path, the route, right? What is the route? And for a person to leave the body, there is a time, place, and circumstance also are required. Krishna is going to talk about that. So the kala refers to the time or the path. Okay, I'll give two explanations from scriptures. So we'll see this. These are the verses Krishna talks about the path of light or Archiradi Marga, or the path of darkness, Dhumadi Marga. Okay, so I'll ask someone to read this English.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world. Tatra prayata gacchanti Brahma Brahma Vido Janaha. During the influence of the fairy god Agnir, in the light Jyotir, at an auspicious moment of the day, Aha, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, Shuklaha, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north, Sanmasa Uttarayanam. Path of darkness, text 25. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, Dhumo, the night, Ratris, the fortnight of the waning moon, Tata Krishna, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, Sanmasa Dakshinayanam, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate.
Thank you. So it's a Sanskrit shloka broken down into English and with the meanings. So far as easy to understand. So Krishna talks about in the 24, there is a path of light. You can see in this picture, right? After the soul departs, it goes through this path, the path of light, or other thing is the path of darkness. The two paths Krishna is saying. If the soul goes through this path, soul will not take birth again. Soul goes to the spiritual world. Okay, and if the soul goes through the path of darkness, soul reaches the moon planet. It also means it is not just the moon we see, it's a heavenly planet, heavenly planets. There, the soul enjoys the heavenly pleasures and comes back. Okay, this path is not Yama Marga. Okay, Yama Marga is different. The path of hell is different. Krishna is not talking about that here. Okay, I'll speak about that in a minute. Okay. So, in the path of light, this is for a yogi. We'll see two explanations. I'll say one is the time and the path. Okay, the route. So the time for a yogi, example Ashtanga yogi, one has to, Krishna spoke about that yogi, one has to sit and meditate and activate his chakras and live the body in a certain way, bring his life force to the Brahmarandra, like on the top of the head, and leave the soul. And not just that, he has to leave the soul at the proper time, during the daytime, and the time also has to be auspicious. And also during the fortnight of waxing moon, the moon increases its size, right? The waxing, it's called waxing. The moon increases its size. During that time, the 2 weeks it takes to increase the time. And during the 6 months when the sun travels to the north. The sun travels to the north and sun travels to the south, right? 2 directions. So this is the time if a yogi leaves the body, he goes through this path and attain the spiritual abode, the Brahman or the God. This for Ashtanga Yogi. Okay, and we'll see a different explanation. These things being the path from Chandogya Upanishad, we'll see. Okay. So I'll speak about that in the next slide. Okay, more detail, let's see. So the path of darkness, if that yogi is not perfected here, right, and he accidentally dies or he's not perfected, he couldn't able to bring activate his chakras. So that is one thing. Or the person who is a ritualistic, not spiritualistic, right? For such a person also, he goes through this path. I'll talk about this detail in upcoming slides. Okay. So his path is he goes through this night time. He leaves the body in the night time, and during the other time is waning moon. The moon wanes, decreases its size, right? Becomes smaller and smaller. And 6 months during or when the sun passes through the south, Dakshinayana. So if a soul leaves the body during that time, soul will go to the heavenly planet and comes back. Okay. So we have seen the time explanation of this verse. We'll see the path explanation of this verse. So it is said that this Agni, Jyoti, Aha, Sukshla are nothing but the deities. Okay, we'll see that explanation here. In Chandogya Upanishad also given, and different acharyas also have said this. So these are the two paths, Dev Archya Marga, Dhuma Marga. Okay, you can see this. So this path is for yogis, also for devotees. If a soul goes through this path, the Archi path, soul will not come back again. Soul will attain the eternal spiritual abode. Okay. Yeah. So when the soul leaves the body, it traverses through this direction. Okay. Imagine, you have to imagine like soul is leaving the body and we are going now. Soul is going now. You have to just imagine. So these are two technical things. So when the soul traverses, it sees the first thing is the Agni Devata, the god of fire. Through that path, it traverses. The place is so lit, well lit. It's like when there is a sunlight, we can see everything because it's well lit. It's well lit. The path is well lit. And the god of time. This is other explanation I'm talking about. There is a god of time. So soul passes through this Agni Devata. Again, it goes to the god of time. That is a destination to stop to. Okay. So think of like if you're going from St. Louis to Hyderabad. I'll go through Chicago, Dallas, or Abu Dhabi, or Delhi, Hyderabad. Right? There's so many stops here. I'm talking about so many stops. Right? I'm going to my destination. There are so many stops. So same thing. These are the stops when the soul goes through this marga, this path. The path of the first stop is the place where God Agni resides, and through that again there's a god of time also there. That is the second stop. From there it goes to the Shukla Paksha, the god of fortnight. Again it goes to the other stop, Uttarayana, the god of Uttarayana, and the god of rain, the god of wind, the god of sun, the god of moon. After 8 stops, ninth stop, at the ninth stop, it is said there is a god of lightning. His name is Amanavan. Okay. So this person has the direct access to the spiritual world. He can take the soul from that to spiritual world. Okay. Through Varuna Loka, Indra Loka, and Brahma Loka. He crosses the Brahma Loka. Okay. Now we have to imagine we crossed all these stops, all the steps going upwards, all these stops. Okay. So we cross this material realm, and the top planet in this material realm is Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka, I'll meet Miraji. So the Brahmaloka. After Brahmaloka, that's where the spiritual ends, material world ends. And after that Brahmaloka, after that universe, okay, there's something like Viraja Nadi which divides the material world and spiritual world, and soul goes into the spiritual realm. Okay, and one person who escorts the soul to that spiritual world is Amanavan. Okay, so we have seen two explanations, one this being a time and other being a stops. There are different deities. There are different deities. The deity of God, the god of Agni, the god of time, the god of sun, Vayu, god of moon. So soul goes through the various stops to attain that's on its way to spiritual world. Soul goes through various stops on its way to spiritual world. Okay, this is one path. And this is another path, the path of Dhuma Marga. So we'll talk about in next slide who will go through this route, who will go this route. Okay, so we'll talk about later. Just think about the path now. So the Dhuma Marga is Dhuma means smoke. Ratri means night. Imagine there is a smoke and there is a dark, fully dark. It's not well lit. It's not well lit. We can't see anything there. It's fully dark. And Krishna Pakshaha, the time, and Dakshinayana, the south. Sun traverses to the south. So these are also deities. This is representation of some deities there. And also Pitraloka soul goes to the Pitru planet. There is another realm where our forefathers live, right? And that's also a temporary location. It's not permanent location. And there's also Akasha and Chandrama, moon planet. There is a moon planet. So when the soul goes through this route, Dhuma Marga, soul goes to the heavenly planets based on his good karma, good actions which he had performed in this very lifetime. He will enjoy there for some time. After that enjoyment, when the soul goes through this marga, Dhuma Marga, after that enjoyment, the soul will be kicked out because that place is also temporary. It's a longer time period. Soul may reside in the heavenly planet, but after some time, soul will be kicked out. And it is given in the scriptures, Upanishad, how soul falls down into the earth planet. It's called Panchamahavidya. So there, soul is sent to the material realm, from the heavenly planet to the earth through clouds. Soul comes onto the earth planet through rain, and soul enters into the various things, like it could be grains. Yeah, from the soul enters into the grains and plants. It could be anything. And if those are eaten by humans or animals, soul gets into the body of a male body. From the male body, soul goes into the female body. So this is in Upanishad. Okay? So that's how the rotates. Soul gets a human body again, lives a life, and if again dies and goes through this marga, Dhuma Marga, again this cycle follows. He enjoys in heavenly planet for some time, he'll be kicked out, and he'll again go through this cycle. I know you have more questions. We'll talk about this. Okay, I'll ask someone to read. After this slide, we have nice classification who goes to different routes and details. So we'll keep it there. Okay, good, Prabha.
शुक्ल कृष्णे गतिः एते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया याति अनावृतिम् anyaya vartate punaha. Translation: according to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here in the shloka, Krishna is saying that there are two ways I spoke, the path of light, Archiradi Marga, or the path of light, darkness, Dhumadi Marga. There are two ways. There are two ways for a soul to traverse. If a soul traverses to the path of light, the soul does not come back. Does not come back. If the soul passes through the path of darkness, he returns. In this verse, Krishna is saying. So when he returns, how he returns, we saw that. How he returns through heavenly planet, he'll enjoy for heavenly planet for some time, again comes back. He will be eaten by man, and man to woman. It goes. Okay, now here in this classification, we'll nicely see. So this is what Krishna has been saying in this 7th and 8th chapter. And also we'll see who goes to the which direction, which path, what is their destination. Okay, this is all encompassing. Okay, so type of soul. Okay, adharmic. We'll talk about the first type, adharmic, who doesn't follow any Vedic injunctions, who lives a sinful life, abominable sinful life. He creates problem to himself and he creates problem to everybody. Papa Jiva. Papa Jiva. Right? Papa Jiva. In other words, some criminals or terrorists, right? Or creating problems to others. Such a person, what he does, he meditates his mindset. What is his mindset? He's always meditating on sinful activities. At the time of departure, his mind is also like that. His mind is also like that. And the direction he goes through the south direction. He leaves the body through the lower regions, lower exits of the body. We have upper exits and lower exits. More, yeah, 7 exits on the top, 2 exits on the down, right? So lower exits, soul leaves to the, if the soul leaves the body through the lower exit, it goes through this Yama Marga. Yama Marga, Krishna did not talk about Yama Marga. Krishna just talked about the Archiradi Marga, Dhumadi Marga. Krishna did not talk about Yama Marga. Okay, but scriptures talk about Yama Marga in various Bhagavatam, other places also, they talk about Yama Marga. For a soul who lives a sinful life, he will go through this path of Yama Marga. Okay, so there are many details to it. In that also there are many stops, like the path of flight also, the path of Yama also has various stops. If we talk about that, we cannot sleep. Okay, so we cannot sleep. So we'll just skip that thing. Okay, it's so terrifying. If you want to read, you can read. I can send you the details. You can read. It's so scary. But anyway, yeah, for a sinful soul, so at the time of death, soul goes through this Yama Marga, and there will be Yamadhutas, associates of Lord Yama. They'll come and take the soul, and they'll give all kind of torture, and the soul will be at the hell for some time and go through the suffering of his sinful acts, and soul again will be kicked out from that place after some time, and the soul again rotates. He'll also rotates. Okay, that is one path. Other path is, this is what Krishna spoke, the 3 paths Krishna spoke. Okay, so this is for this other category of soul, who is a karmi, right? Who is following Vedic rituals sincerely. All the duties he's doing. Very nice. So we hear this one, right? You do your duty, you'll liberate yourself. You'll attain moksha. We hear this a lot. If you do your duty, you'll attain moksha. Answer is no. If you do your duty correctly, you'll attain heavenly planet. You will not attain moksha. Okay, so we see many people like being religious, but they're not spiritual. They're religious, doing all kind of religious duties, taking care of family, children, and following Shastras, what Shastra has given. If a person commits a sin, as per Shastra, that person has to do atonement. There are various types of atonements. If a proper is for since if a person is sincerely doing those, you know, such a person is called a karmi, or he will not have sins, because he's doing regular atonements, he will not have sins. Most of the time in this world, we don't even know what are those atonements. So Krishna is talking about this category for a person who sincerely following the rituals, all the Vedic rituals, rules and regulations. And this also means one has to do yajna, dana, tapa, karma. One has to do fire sacrifices. One has to do charity to others, not just living for himself. He has to live for others. uh, and and tapa, like he has to do some austerities, regulating eating habits, sleeping habits. So if a person lives like that, Krishna is talking about that person. If he breaks all the rules, he will fall into the first category. Okay. If a person is sincerely following the rules, this is second category. I know this is so hard to hear, but this is the truth. If a person sincerely follows the rule, he will go at the time of death. It is said there are 101 nadis. Nadis are energy centers. There are 101 nadis connected through this heart. From the heart region, there are 101 energy centers. Okay. Soul leaves the body through any of 100 energy centers. Okay. And when the soul leaves the body, it traverses through the path of smoke, Dhuma Marga, like path of darkness, and certain times. In that path, the next destination is heavenly planet. It goes to the heavenly soul, goes to the heavenly planet. He will be given a body, heavenly body, where he can enjoy for his sincerely following his rules and regulations of life. He's living a dharmic life. He's living a dharmic life. Now he is rewarded. He has never committed any sin. Even if he committed sin, he atoned for it. Because of that, he is rewarded. That soul is rewarded and he is sent to the heavenly planet where he will nicely enjoy. And after his good credits are depleted, example, he is given 100 credits. For 100 credits, he has to enjoy that all kinds of wonderful facilities in the heavenly planet. After 100 credits are gone, he will be kicked out and he'll come through this cloud, water, and food. He becomes a food, and male to female, right? So this process the soul goes through. Okay, we covered top second, first two. Now three. So this is a yogi who is interested in self-realization. Okay, he's desirous of self-realization. He's practicing yoga, the path of controlling the mind and senses, and trying to activate his chakras, dhyana yoga. He's meditating on the self and meditating on Paramatma. It takes many, many lifetimes. Krishna also said in 6th chapter, it's not so easy, but if a person does it, he will go through this path of light. We looked at path of light. There are 12 stops to destination. Soul goes through those paths. And if the soul goes through the paths, he'll attain the spiritual abode and he will not come back. If this person has a bhakti, devotion, he'll easily attain the spiritual abode also. If he doesn't have devotion, he'll be in Brahman. Okay? Yeah. And there is others, Acharya says that soul also will come back. Others says doesn't come back. Anyway. See, we talked about the third box is about Ashtanga Yogi. Okay. And there are no Ashtanga Yogi practitioners in the age of Kali Yuga. We fall into first two categories or the last category. Okay. And the last category is a devotee, a bhakta, who has surrendered to the Lord, who has taken Sharanagati, practicing the process of devotional service. He is meditating on the Supreme Lord, Krishna or Narayana. At the time of death, if he doesn't remember, God will ensure he remembers. God will remember. Krishna will remember. And God will ensure this soul goes through the path of light, and goes through the proper in a proper way. When soul goes through this path, and he'll attain the spiritual abode. He'll attain the Supreme Lord's abode, Vaikuntha planets. What happens there? The soul will be given a spiritual body, which is not material body. At that time, there is no aging. Our body doesn't age. In this world, our body ages. We were from 0 and we are crossing our ages 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 100. So our body deteriorates every day and we are aging. And in the spiritual world, there will be a spiritual body. The body material itself, the body material itself is not material. It's a spiritual material. It won't deteriorate. There is no hunger, thirst. One can attain whatever they want. Okay? And that time the soul is a pure soul. Okay, pure soul. It's not like attain whatever you want means attain all kind of money and possessions. No, no, no. The soul tries to do service to the Lord in the spiritual world. Okay, so these are the different things. Okay, I'll ask someone to read.
नैति श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो bhavarjuna. Translation: although the devotees know these two paths, for Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
So in this shloka, Krishna is saying, okay, I spoke about these two paths. Now you know your direction, which path you want to go, which path you want to choose. We looked at various classifications, various categories for a sinful person, a dharmi or a dharmi who follows dharma. Which path he goes? He goes to Dhuma Adi Marga, he goes to heavenly planet. For a bhakta who is a devotee, who is a surrendered soul, he goes through the path of light and attains spiritual abode. So now that you know your destination, now that you know your path, don't be bewildered. Always think about me, meditate on me. Yoga Yukta Bhavarjuna. You always meditate on me, think about me, and think about the direction you are heading. Put your GPS upon me. If you want to go from this place to another place, we need a GPS. If the place is new, if I don't know anything about that place, somewhere in Missouri, there are so many places. GPS also doesn't work there sometimes. If we need to download offline GPS. Anyway, if you download that and we are confident, yes, I put the GPS, this is the route I go, these are the exits I take, this is my destination. So for that a person, there is no confusion because he knows his path. So Krishna is saying, okay, now that you know these two routes, you pick the path to come to me. You think about me, meditate on me, always fix your mind on me, meditate on the also meditate, think about this path also, and don't get confused, don't be lost. You will certainly attain me. That's why Krishna is saying, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukta Bhavarjuna. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Sarveshu, in all times, in all circumstances, be Yoga Yukta. Be devoted to me. Okay. So this is only the life lesson we have. So much technical things. So anyway, so life lesson, fix your GPS to Krishna to attain Krishna. This is what Krishna is saying. In short, in one line, fix your GPS to Krishna to attain Krishna. So this is the last shloka in this chapter. After this, we'll end this session. Okay, I'll ask someone to read.
Vedeshu yajnesu tapashu chaiva daneshu yat punyaphalam pradishtam atyati tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam Upaiti Chadyam. Translation: a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all of this, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
Thank you, bro. So here Krishna finally glorifies the bhakti and the practitioner of bhakti, devotional service. Throughout this chapter, from the verse 1 to until this chapter, the theme has been one has to remember the Supreme Lord. Even if a person is attracted to the material things, Krishna gave the way of remembering the Lord, 9 ways of remembering the Lord. And if a person is a yogi who wants to practice yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Krishna gave the way to remember the Lord and leave the body. And for a bhakta, Krishna has been saying throughout this chapter, be Ananya Bhakta, always be devoted to me. Think about me. Tasma Sarveshu Kalesh, in all your circumstances, all your times, you think about me, meditate on me, and know the direction you're going to come to me. Don't be bewildered, and you'll attain me, certainly attain me. Krishna said that. And Krishna glorifies this path of devotional service, bhakti, in this verse. Okay? And Krishna gives 5 different ways he glorifies. So we'll see one by one. Vedeshu, Yajneshu, Tapasya Chaiva. A practitioner who is practicing devotional service, well, how so such a person is not bereft of results derived from studying the Vedas. So that means, in other words, as per scriptures, a person, when he gets a human body, he has to go through Vedic study. He has to go through Vedic study. He has to gain knowledge about his Atma, who is he, what is his Prakriti, material world. He has to learn many things. He has to study the Vedas, scriptures. Then he will get good credits. Good credits. It is guaranteed he will get a human body. If a person does Veda Dhyayana, it is guaranteed that he'll get a human body. Right? That is a good credits one can attain just by studying the scriptures. Krishna is saying, if a person is a bhakta devotee, that person will also attain the similar benefits. Even though he doesn't do the Veda Dhyayana, all the Vedic literature, studying all the Vedic literatures, even though if he doesn't study, he will attain the same benefit. He will get the credits just by practice of devotional service. That is one thing. And performing sacrifices. It is said in our scriptures that one has to do various sacrifices. And various fire sacrifices and helping others and all those things. The soul comes to this earth. There is so much. Soul is so much indebted to many things, to other living beings, to our gurus, or to our other souls, other living beings, right? So we covered this in previous sessions. So again, as per scriptures, when we take the human body, we are indebted to many things, and we have to do various sacrifices, right? Krishna here is saying, for a bhakta, even though if that person doesn't do sacrifices, he will attain the similar benefit. Bhakta will attain the similar benefit, even though if he doesn't do those sacrifices. The third point, one has to undergo austerities. One has to fast for a certain day. That's an austerity of controlling the mind and senses. Various austerities one has to do. Fast in certain days, certain times. I mean, one has to still do, but the credits one would get whatever the credits one would get, the same credits can be attained by the practice of devotional service. So Krishna is glorifying the devotional service, bhakti, again and again, again and again. Okay, giving charity. Again, as per scriptures, one has to do dana, yajna, dana, tapa, karma. One has to do charity also. If I have some wealth, I need to donate, giving charity to others. That way I will not be attached to my wealth. I'll say like, this is my wealth, this is belongs to me. This is my mindset. But when I start giving to others, giving charity to others, then I'll think about something other than my own wealth, my own life. Come out of I and my zone, helping others. So that act will give certain credit, good credits, good karma, right? For a devotee, those credits are given. It doesn't even have to do charity. So these are the things one has to do. I mean, soul has to do as per Vedic, as per Sanatana Dharma, the way of life. One has to do various things. They has to do sacrifices, austerity, charity. But just by the practice of devotional service, bhakti, all are optional. They're not required. All the credits are given to this bhakta. So pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities, the karma kandic rituals one has to perform to various demigods and so on. So in these 5 different ways, Krishna is saying, one who accepts the path of devotional service, the theme is same. One who accepts the path of devotional service becomes a bhakta, renders unalloyed devotion unto the God. Such a bhakta is so glorious, and the bhakti is so glorious, he will attain the similar benefit of various things, all these 5 things. Bhakta attains the benefits of everything. And finally, Krishna says, and at the end, he reaches the supreme abode. That's how Krishna concludes this chapter. How to attain the Supreme Lord? By Ananya Bhakti, unalloyed devotion, one can attain the Supreme Lord. And in this chapter, Krishna also spoke about the devotional service, the significance of the spiritual world, and the path to attain the Supreme Lord, the route in a high level. So with that, I'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Thank you for patiently listening. If you have any questions, I'm sure you'll have questions, so we can take now. Thank you, Hare Krishna.